everybody, Trevor here, and welcome back to another episode of Trevor Revisits. And this time, we will be revisiting Jack and the Solar Construction Company, aka Jack and the Pack, which is a spin-off series that only had 13 episodes total. Let's do a little history lesson behind this obscure and criminally underrated miniseries first. This was devised by Phil Farrell, directed by Steve Asquith, with some stock footage by David Minton, who was uncredited, and the head writers were Paul Larson and Abby Grant. The series was most likely made to rival Hit Entertainment's Bob the Builder, which was also very popular at the time. The music was going to be composed by Junior Campbell and Michael O'Donnell, both of whom worked on seasons 1 to 7, but was replaced by the newer music scored by Robert Hartshorn and Ed Welch instead. In season 6, Jack Jumps In and A Friend in Need served as pilots for this spin-off series. We get introduced to the Pack, aka the Solar Construction Company, who work together to finish big projects like quarry duty, cleaning up debris, building new buildings, like a new school in one episode, and demolishing old buildings like in Thomas's Trusty Friends. In the Pack miniseries, we get introduced to several new characters, including Max's twin brother Monty, who for some reason didn't appear in the pilot episodes to begin with. I guess he was too busy doing other jobs on the island. We also get introduced to Patrick the Cement Mixer, who only appeared once in the entire show, by the way, Buster the Steamroller, who is a more friendly version of George, and Nelson the Ballast Tractor, who also transports the other members from site to site, besides Thomas and Percy, of course. Oh, and there's also a dropped character named Nigel. How could I forget him? This miniseries takes place between seasons 7 and 8, which does explain why this was the last series to use the 35mm camera, as well as having David Minton as model consultant. In total, there were 13 episodes produced. Each one lasted for 4.5 minutes, just like the first 7 seasons of the original show. This spin-off series was originally going to have 26 episodes in total, but unfortunately, after the 13 episodes were finished, the rest were cancelled due to Hit's acquisition of purchasing the Thomas brand back in the early 2000s. It's quite sad to be honest, but I guess it's for the greater good. But hey, at least we get to see the Pack members again in other future projects like The Great Discovery, as well as in the CGI series. Now, I've already made a couple of top 5 videos regarding my favorite episodes and characters from this series, so I'll provide a couple links in the description below. And if I were to rank all 13 into one video, then this will be it. Now here's my biggest gripe with Jack and the Pack. Most of the episode titles are very inaccurate and barely have anything to do with Thomas and Percy. For instance, A Happy Day for Percy has nothing to do with the episode's plot. It stars Byron as the main hero, who saves Alfie from sinking into the mud, and Percy has barely anything to do with the episode. He was just there. Also, this episode was originally titled Byron Saves the Day, but was changed to the latter for some very stupid reason. Another perfect example is Thomas's Trusty Friends, which also had nothing to do with Thomas. He barely has a role in this. It's about Ned wanting to knock buildings down, but accidentally gets his wish when he backs into an old weak tower, which causes the whole thing to fall down and destroy the rest of the old brickworks. Thus, the job was done thanks to Ned's clumsiness. Oh, and did you know that this title was going to be called Another Fine Mess before it was changed to Thomas's Trusty Friends at the last minute? Yeah, that would have been a much better and more accurate title than the finished product. There are other original titles for each episode too, such as Who's the Boss, which was now called On Site with Thomas, but if I were to list them all here, then we'd be here all day, so I'll provide a link in the description below if you want more information. In addition, this series was released onto 3 US DVDs, On Site with Thomas, Thomas's Trusty Friends, and Mud Glorious Mud, all of which were great DVDs to own. Though at the same time, I would have loved it if they re-released all 13 episodes onto one disc as a complete series. I mean, if they could do it with the early years box set, why not do the same thing with this one? And furthermore, this series had 2 new songs. The Work song, which is my favorite of the 2, and the other one is One Friendly Family, both of which are great songs in my humble opinion because they're catchy and fun to listen to. Now it's time to talk a little bit about the canceled episodes. As I stated earlier, this series was going to have 26 episodes in total, but only 13 were finished. One of the more interesting ones, in my opinion, was called Bossy Byron, where he bosses everyone around on the construction site. Another great example was an episode called Isabella Gets Steamed, where we would have seen Trevor's large scale model up close with new lines, as well as a return appearance of the vicar. But the one episode that got me curious the most was Pop Goes the Diesel, not to be confused with the season 2 episode of the same name, which I guess is another good reason why this newer version was dropped. Otherwise, the audience would get very confused. Man, I hate it when some episodes have the same exact title but with a different plot. If you want more information on these cancelled episodes, I'll provide the link in the description below, otherwise we'd be here all day. Okay, now for my overall thoughts. In my honest opinion, the Jack in the Pack spin-off series is criminally underrated. It deserves more recognition than what it already got. I loved all the characters, especially the new ones, the new music score, the 2 new songs, the simple writing, and even some of the funny shenanigans that the characters went through, like Patrick falling to his own concrete and on sign with Thomas. It may be one of those shows that copies the concept of Bob the Builder, but it's still decent enough on its own because, after all, it is a Thomas spinoff after all, and I like having new characters every now and then. Also, in my humble opinion, I consider it a true underrated classic. And here's hoping we'll get more spin-offs like this soon because I don't want Jack in the Pack to be the only one in the official Thomas canon. In fact, I could think of some right now, like a spin-off starring Scarlet and Rheneas in their youthful days, or maybe a spin-off series starring the Archdale Railway engines, just to name a couple. As for my overall score, I'm thinking giving this an 8 out of 10 stars. Now let me know your thoughts below regarding Jack and the Sword Construction Company as a spin-off. Do you like it, hate it, or think it's meh? Join me next time where I'll be doing another hopes and predictions video regarding the upcoming Thomas show in 2026, and here's hoping that it'll be overall good. This is Trevor Davis, signing off.